I'm Laura Kyle in Kuala Lumpur with the top stories here on Al Jazeera. More clashes are feared in East Jerusalem on Wednesday, a day after hundreds of Palestinian protesters clashed with Israeli security forces. Dozens were injured. The violence follows the rededication of a synagogue in the Old City, as well as Israel's announcement that it will build more illegal settlements. The US Secretary of State has reaffirmed her country's support for Israel, denying suggestions that their relations are in crisis over Israel's settlement plans. Red-shirted demonstrators in Thailand have poured their own blood outside the home of Prime Minister Abhisit Wejchachiwa in Bangkok. The police cordoned off the area from the main body of the protesters, but did allow a smaller group to perform their symbolic protest. They want Abhisit to dissolve his government and call national elections. The Australian and New Zealand Air Forces have begun delivering emergency supplies to the South Pacific nation of Fiji. The country's Prime Minister says a powerful cyclone has inflicted overwhelming damage. The storm, called Thomas, battered Fiji's northern islands for 3 days, forcing more than 17,000 people to take refuge in government shelters. Mexican President Felipe Calderon says the US must share responsibility for the fight against his country's drug gangs. Calderon made the comments as he met officials in Ciudad Juarez. Violence in the city has made it a focal point of his government's battle against the cartels. A coalition led by Iraq's former Prime Minister Iyad Allawi has for the first time taken a narrow lead in the country's parliamentary elections. 80% of the ballot has now been counted, amounting to some 12 million votes, and Allawi's lead is estimated at just 9,000 votes. Given the closeness of the race, it could be weeks before a definitive result is announced. Sri Lanka's former military chief and presidential candidate Sarath Fonseca will face a second court-martial on Wednesday. He's due to be charged over allegations he awarded a lucrative arms contract to a firm headed by his son-in-law. Fonseca denies all charges, saying they're fabricated by his political enemies. Much more on our website, aljazeera.net/English.